you very much. In the first tutorial video, I discussed with you about contractions, apostrophe, the function of apostrophe. I informed you that apostrophe is used for contractions and is also used for possessive. So in this case, I'm going to continue. I'm going to discuss about how do you use did to ask a question? How do you use do not, do to ask a question? And how do you use does not to ask a question? So in this case, I'm looking at question forms. Question forms. So in other words, if you are given a sentence, to change in a question form, you need to look at whether the sentence requires the use of do or the use of does or the use of do. Now, when and how do you use did? So did you use it first if the sentence is in past simple tense, whether the subject is singular or plural. So in other words, you need to understand what we mean with the subject. Subject in this case is the doer. So did, you use did to ask a question if a sentence is in past simple tense with a singular or plural subject. And do, you use do to ask a question if the sentence is in present simple tense with a plural subject. And it does use does to ask a question if the sentence is in present simple tense and with a singular subject. All right. Now, first of all, I want you to understand that subject, for example, in this case, Peter and Anna like sports. That's the sentence. So the subject we are referring to is Peter and Anna. This is now the subject in this sentence. So, and we are saying for you to use any of this when you want to use did to ask a question, do to ask a question, does to ask a question. First of all, let's start with did. Did, you use did to ask a question if the sentence is in past simple tense. And this sentence must be in past simple tense. Let's say Peter and Anna liked sports. Peter and Anna liked sports. So now if they ask you to change this sentence into a question form, then you start now with did. Did Peter and Anna like sports? Question mark. So in other words, this like should be in present, not liked again. Not did Peter and Anna liked, but did Peter and Anna like sports? So this liked becomes like. So even if the subject was singular, for example, we have Anna went home. Let's look at this sentence. Anna went home. Anna is the subject. Went is the past tense of go, which means this sentence is in past simple tense. So then, for you to ask if you are given a sentence like this to change it in a question form, then you start with did. Did Anna go home? Question mark. Did Anna go home? This went becomes go in present, and then we have the strongest form in the past, which is did, because we are starting with did, which is already showing past. Then the verb which was in the past becomes in the present. So take note, that's how you use did to ask a question. So the sentence, first of all, you must be able to tell when you are given a sentence in examination. You should be able to read and find out the tense in which the sentence is. If it's in past simple tense, then you should use did. But if it's in present simple tense, like in this case, let's continue with Anna. Present simple tense. Anna and Peter go, or in this case, let's say like sports. So here we said Anna is the singular subject. Peter and Anna, in this case, the subject becomes plural. And we are saying that you can use did to ask a question if the sentence is in past simple tense and the subject can be singular plural, like this. It can be singular plural so long as it's in past simple tense. But in this case, you use do to ask a question only if the sentence is in present simple tense and the subject is plural. For example, in this case, Anna and Peter like sports. So this sentence is in present simple tense. Here, Peter and Anna liked sports in past simple tense. But here, like sports in present simple tense. So it's going to be, then you start with do. Do Peter and Anna like sports? Question mark. Do Peter and Anna like sports? Question mark. Now, here, you use does. We are saying that you use does to ask a question only if the sentence is in present simple tense and NB, the subject must be singular. Let's take again. So here we have Anna and Peter. Let's take in this case Anna. Anna, and this like must be in present. Then it's going to be likes. But the most important thing that I would like to ask you again, or maybe just to explain, we are adding s to like. Here we said Anna and Peter like, but we did not say Anna and Peter likes. So in other words, if the subject is plural, you don't add s. You don't add s or es to a verb which is in present. But if the subject is singular, then you need to add s to that verb if it's in present tense. For example, in this case, Anna, because the subject is singular, we cannot say Anna like. But Anna likes, we need to add s there. Anna likes sports. Anna likes sports. Now, if we are to change it in a question form, then it's going to be, we start now with does. Then it's going to be, does Anna like sports? Question mark. So this like is not going to have s again. So we are not going to have likes again because we have added es to the verb do. So then it's going to be, does Anna like sports? So this is how you ask a question using does, do, and did. So in my next tutorial video, I'm going to explain. But before, perhaps, even when it comes to negative again, just for me to summarize it, is the same thing. If they will ask you to change a sentence in a negative form, into negative form, you use did not. Here you just put did not, do not, does not. So that means this becomes now negative. From affirmative to negative. That means the same rules apply. You use did not only if that applies. Use do not only if that applies. And use does not only if that applies. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will still again continue to help you a little bit on grammatical aspects into my next tutorial video. Thank you very much for watching.